Okay.
Hi, I'm Chris.
I'm Dave.
And this is Two Old Skeletons Talking.
Toast. Sometimes you say toast and sometimes you say... No, you always say Two Old Skeletons Talking.
I do.
You? Okay.
Yeah.
My memory's faulty.
Yeah.
We are in Seattle, Washington.
And today we are driving southbound on I-5 just about to pass Linwood.
It's true.
On our way to Seattle.
Yep.
So Dave, what's the subject today?
Well, today it's a mystery subject. It's Maya's mystery subject.
All right, what do we got?
It says... She always uses such nice paper, too. Nice.
Yeah.
Maya from Seattle, Washington wants to know... She wants to know more about unorthodox birthday parties we've worked on. I think she's specifically asking about parties that we have put on for your children.
Yeah, pretty much. Because for, I would say, it's got to be about 10 years. We put on pretty big birthday parties for my children. I mean, not big as in number of people, but we would always come up with a theme and build something stupid to...
Stupid is a good way to describe it sometimes.
Totally. So, well, let's say the thing for sure is build something that's difficult to build.
Yeah. Now, how did it start? What was the first one?
So the first one was the little pirate ship for Shay.
Okay. And wait, is that what turned into the Intrepid eventually?
That is the Intrepid, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
But first I built it as a ship for Shay's 4th birthday party.
Right, little 4-year-olds running around.
Little 4-year-olds running around. So we built this ship out of 2x6s and plywood, and I bought a 8-foot wading pool, and we actually put this ship in the pool. It didn't float.
No.
There was a packing blanket to keep the bottom of the ship from poking through the thing, and we built little magnet fishing lines, so they would go on this plank up into this pirate ship over the water, and then they're on a boat with water surrounding them. So 4-year-olds ate that up.
And then that kind of just started a cascade of trying to top yourself every year.
You know, I don't know that I would even think of it like that. It was just that every year I would come up with an idea and I'd say, let's do this one. Until the kids were old enough that I started to say, well, what kind of theme do you think you would like for your birthday party this year? Yeah, so the next year was Shay's 5th birthday party, and we built the castle birthday party, which was an 8-foot by 8-foot box that was the castle, and there was a climbing wall on one side of that, so they could climb up to the top of it, then they could go across this walkway over... I think it was that same pool.
Same pool, right. Well, there was the water features, we called it.
Yeah. Well, and they could play in the pool, and I built a fountain onto the bottom of that platform so they could walk under the water cascading down. And we left the pirate ship there for no good reason, really.
Right.
And then at second use, I found this darkroom door, which was this rotating, turning door, and I just thought, that door is so cool. So we used it so that you could enter into the bottom of the castle so that it was always dark. And we lit it inside only with black lights, and I put a microphone in there with an echo so that anytime kids were talking in there, it would echo back at them like it was a cavern.
No, I remember that. And I remember the cool thing is just like how much fun the kids had just going in and out of the darkroom door. That thing was like...
Totally.
But that wasn't even the coolest thing. The coolest thing is you bought it, used it, and then sold it right back to the same company for, I think, the same amount of money, right?
Yeah, no, they just let me return it.
That's so awesome.
It was.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, what was after that?
One time we were at IKEA. They were getting rid of these houses, these blue houses that they had built as part of a display. And we managed to fit them on top of the green van, and we made those like stations where kids could serve themselves cake or something like that. And we made the big, the ball.
That's what I remember, is making the ball maze thing. I don't even remember, but I remember we had, it was a crank or something that lifted the ball up really high.
Right,
and
in red Solo cups.
Red Solo cups, right, around some type of belt or something.
Right, yeah, exactly, and we were using these balls, again, at IKEA. One year they'd been getting rid of all of their ball pit balls.
Yeah.
So I bought 5 big bags of ball pit balls, and we made our own full ball pit. Yeah,
right,
you do. We made our own ball pit in that same pool
Right.
and then used the rest of the balls for the ball maze, which, we just built around scaffolding.
Yeah. All right. Then I want to say after that, let's see if my memory is correct, was Carousel?
Yeah. That was the Carousel party, and that was you and I built a 4-person carousel for kids, and Mai and I drove around to all kinds of secondhand kids stores to find horses.
Horses?
Hobby horses.
Oh, that's right. The kind that would have springs
Would have
and stuff.
springs,
Right, that
yeah.
type. Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And we took them off their springs and mounted them on poles. And then you made this fantastic centerpiece that was built around an octagonal structure so that there were 4 mirrors and then a painted thing in between. It was beautiful. It was awesome. And so they would sit on these hobby horses, and we made it so that they could rock those back and forth, even though they were only on a pole.
So now I want to say too, it seems to me, not to get you into trouble, but it seems like we did quite a number of birthday parties in a row for Shay and didn't do any for Isla. Like, what was the story behind that?
Well, the story behind that is the fact that Shay has a summer birthday and Isla has a winter birthday.
Right.
So we couldn't do very much outside. So I actually always did do big birthday parties for Isla, but you weren't involved in them as much because they always had to be inside, so there was a limitation, therefore, on what we could do.
What I have to say, once you did start doing exclusively Isla birthdays, they got really big and complicated. I mean, I think bigger than anything that Shay ever got.
I don't know that that's true, because I think that the last birthday party for Shay was the murder mystery on the train.
Yeah, but the last one I remember for Isla, we built a whole freaking room within another room, right? With doors.
That's true.
That was huge. Are you kidding me? Okay, we're going out of context though. So, sticking to a chronological methodology here.
Okay, so the train party was the most ambitious one I had done up till then. We built a train car interior in our family room.
Yeah.
And we mounted this whole thing on wheels so that it could move back and forth. And so the kids entered the train car from outside because they went up the stairs into this train car, which was made to look like a Victorian train car. And there was only one window in it. And of course, up tight to it was our big screen TV, so that I could project an image that looked like if they were looking out the window and they're driving by in this train. So the train starts, and it's Victorian England, and soon you hear the person who's making the announcement about where the train's going to go gets murdered. And then you hear Jack the Ripper has stolen onto this train and is going to try and come kill them. But then you hear this ghostly voice through the PA system, and meanwhile the train is rocking this whole time, and in the window they see the scenery going by. This ghostly voice comes and says, "I was killed by Jack the Ripper, and I'm here to help you escape this train car." So basically the train car is now an escape room. And they had to find underneath a picture on the wall a button that would stop the train, and so then the train comes screeching to a halt. And we had video monitors so we could see what they were doing, and we were waiting for the signal from the button being pushed. I just had it hooked up to a light.
Yeah.
And then I ran the sound of stopping it, and we moved the train car forward and then had it stop, right? So that you feel that jerk.
Yeah.
And then they pulled the closet pole out of the closet, and I don't remember exactly how this happened, but essentially open the back of the closet like a door and escape out the side of the train. And that was the end of that mystery. But here was the thing: the ghost was played by Maya, who you hear getting murdered, screaming and saying no, no. And Isla was, I don't know, maybe 6 at the time. She was very disturbed by this. She did not like hearing
listening to her mother scream.
Yeah, and get murdered. Because, it was very convincing because I had the sounds of stabbing and splashing blood.
It was probably the most realistic part, seeing if that's your occupation, yeah.
Yeah, it was gruesome. So that was one of Shay's last parties, and definitely the biggest one. And so, when we finally started doing the bigger parties for Isla, there were the 2 laser tag parties, except we didn't do laser tag. we did laser shooting gallery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that was themed.
And those were really complicated because you had to go buy all of these tiny little figures.
Yeah.
Right? And then you had to mount sensors or RFIDs or something into each one. I mean, I don't remember what you had to do, but it was like, I remember when you explained it to me, I was like, oh my God, dude, I don't even love my children enough to do that. But, I mean, it was exhaustive.
Yeah, it was a large electronics project. But here was the fun thing about that one, actually. We made all of these tiny little circuit boards because it was so much cheaper to buy everything yourself, and it was actually infrared, not laser.
Okay.
But everybody was old enough that we built like 60 of these little micro boards as a family, with everybody having their own task. So Shay and I were both soldering.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then Maya and Isla would put the resistors and the capacitors and these little microprocessors in the boards and get them ready, and then give them over to Shay and I, and we would solder them up.
I remember you wanted like a big monster down at the bottom of the steps inside the house, right?
Right.
That they had to shoot multiple times.
Right.
And I think we mounted a motor or some motors
Yeah, windshield wiper motor.
To some kind of a hose or something. I can't remember what it was. But
Yeah, a bunch of hose down there so
we'll
that it
cut
would
this
just...
thing just sort of wiggle around, and they
Yeah.
had to, like, at the top of the stairs there was some obstacle, and it really, I remember you and I looking at it going, all right, it's lame, but whatever, and it freaked the hell out of them. They would like, they were screaming and shooting at this thing like nuts, right? You know?
Yeah, well, because it was thrashing down there. Actually, I think it was 3 motors, because I feel like one died, but we still had 2 motors that were making it thrash.
Yeah, and that was a nutty one, that one. So, all right, well, I don't know what
so
else
I
to
think
say.
that might be about it for unorthodox birthday parties.
Unorthodox birthday parties. It's a good way to say it, right? We'll talk about our orthodox birthday parties next time.
All righty.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Hey, it's Chris. Thanks for watching our episode, everybody. We hope you liked it. And if you liked it, please subscribe. Also, if you'd like to see some outtakes and behind the scenes, you can support us and check them out at patreon.com/2oldskeletons. Thank you again. Be safe.